All right, good morning. This is day 2, and this is the morning of my first full day in Bogotá. My official tour with Intrepid doesn't begin until 6 p.m. So because of that, I have all of today, which is a Saturday at 8 o'clock in the morning, until 6 p.m. to do something. So I went ahead and I booked a private tour of the city on TripAdvisor. So the tour is called Private Tour City Tour of Bogotá. And it's about 5 hours, and we're gonna end up going to 3 different places, and they're gonna give me city insight about what it means to live and walk around the city in Bogotá. All right, so we made it to the end of our walk, and we are done visiting Monserrate. Our next place is going to be the Botero Museum. The Botero Museum is a museum with all the paintings of Botero, and he actually died yesterday, so I wonder if there's going to be anything in particular that commemorates his death. As I continued on my day tour through the city of Bogotá from Monserrate to the Botero Museum, I got a first-hand look at all the city's graffiti-covered walls and buildings. I mean, it was everywhere. So my tour guide then explained the story of the city's graffiti. The city always had graffiti, but the situation was made worse after a 2011 incident between a young graffiti artist, Diego Felipe Barcera, and the police. The story goes that he and a few of his friends were hiding from the police under a bridge so they wouldn't get caught painting one of their murals. But as the friends broke apart from each other, the police pursued Diego, killed him, and then tried to cover up the murder. This brought outrage to the streets of Colombia, and a mass protest against the authorities ensued, leading to more graffiti paintings than before. This went on for several years until Colombia's mayor decriminalized graffiti. So, graffiti in Bogotá is prohibited, but not illegal. And by prohibited, it simply means street artists are prohibited from painting on private buildings. But what usually happens is if the art is good enough, the owner of the private buildings leave the art up. There are over 5,000 painted murals all over the streets of Bogotá. Alright, so we are now in the region where we are about to explore the Botero Museum, or Museo de Botero. And we're in an area right now where there's 3 or 4 museums in just one area. We're gonna head towards the museum, and we're gonna check out the art there. And like I said, the museum painter, Botero, he passed yesterday. So what you'll see as we walk in through the area, you'll see some newscasters that's covering the fact that he passed, and it's a significant day to commemorate his life. Here's the newscasters. And we're going to check out what they have in the museum. Sometimes a painter, sometimes a sculptor, Botero is one of Latin America's best-known artists. His sculptures are now part of the urban landscape of major international cities, and his work is exhibited in the largest art museums, and in particular at this art museum, the Botero Museum in Bogotá, the capital of Colombia. In addition to Botero's works, this museum also houses several other exhibits, sculptures, and paintings by many other internationally known artists, including Pablo Picasso. I'm not a huge art fan, but I bet you'll love spending time here. After about a half hour of exploring, we left the museum and headed towards our next location, Plaza de Bolivar.
And I bet that's going to be like a photograph. He does amazing things. Actually, he's really known here, and his art is incredible. I have never seen something like this. Or somebody doing the same thing.
You made that guy?
Wow. That's Jesus Christ. He's
Yeah.
more than free.
I see.
The Bolivar Square, or Plaza de Bolivar, is the main square in the city. The history of the square dates back to the pre-Columbian era. As you can see, the square is surrounded by historical buildings, with the cathedral being the oldest, which completed its construction in 1823. Bolivar Square is the main tourist attraction in the La Candeleria of Bogotá and a site for various manifestations and protests. Best of all, it was a great site for a panorama video selfie. Carrera Séptima, or 7th Street, is the most important thoroughfare of the city in the sense of history, culture, economy, and society. There are many historical buildings, shopping malls, restaurants, and best of all, people for people watching. We stopped at a small coffee shop for a coffee and a large chocolate chip cookie before heading towards the Gold Museum.
Yeah, I bet this is crazy at night. Just walking down the street.
This tour also included entry into the Gold Museum, but I decided to skip it. I needed to use my time to find an ATM so I can have cash to tip my tour guide and driver. Then we headed to the last part of the tour, our walk through Plaza del Chorro de Quevedo.
Chicha. Chicha.
Last on our tour was Plaza del Chorro de Quevedo. It's believed to be where the city of Bogotá was founded on August 6, 1538. Now, the square is popular with street performers and a meeting place for college students. The most notable memory was all the vendors who were selling different types of chicha, which is a locally fermented corn beer and that has a history of its own, which is pegged to the neighborhood.
Knowing the place, taking a look, and the ones that are around are the ones that are starting the party. They are the ones that are already getting drunk. Those bottles are the chicha. The original one is like the one which is in the middle of the green, and the red one, that's the color of the original chicha. All the others have flavored murals, and in Chorro de Quevedo we have two kind of workers that are part of our culture. The cuenteros and the cirqueros. Aquí siguen los que están a cuenteros.
And that was it, the end of my private city tour in Bogotá. In the next video, I'll be sharing the official tour that brought me to Colombia in the first place, my tour with Intrepid Tours. I'll finally meet with my tour group, have an evening meal with them, and visit the only place we went together in Bogotá before heading off to the town of Salento. So if you're interested in seeing those videos and have not yet subscribed to the channel, be sure to do so. Until next time, be safe and go travel. You have everywhere to go see. Peace.